Allah in His mercy had set a condition. Allah in His mercy had set a condition. Allah then gave this trust to Jibreel. Jibreel had then sent down this revelation. Jibreel left it in the hands of Muhammad. Muhammad tried to teach it to his nation. Muhammad then asked to God over it Ali. Ali proved necessity of its function. Ali left it written on his shroud for Hassan. Hassan, for guarding this, faced hatred and friction. Hassan left it lodged in his coffin for Hussein. Hussein, for this trust, inspired revolution. Hussein wrote it in his blood, left to speak it Sajjad. Sajjad showed it could be used for prayer's ascension. Sajjad transformed it into knowledge for Baqir. Baqir proved by teaching it you can bring about action. Baqir built its very foundation for Sadiq. Sadiq reshaped the world just with its reflection. Sadiq reflected it onto the mind of Kadhim. Kadhim spread it far and wide, even under detention. Kadhim, imprisoned, managed to give it to Radha. Radha, when on him was all mind and attention. Al-Radha, when on him was all mind and attention, he was asked to give them something of salvation. He then gave them that trust, a golden narration. He then gave them that trust, a golden narration, saying, given to me from Kadhim, reflected to Kadhim from Sadiq, built for Sadiq by Baqir, given as knowledge to Baqir from Sajjad. Sajjad spoke it from the blood of Hussein. Hussein removed it from the coffin of Hassan. Hassan took it from the shroud of Ali. Ali was told to guard it by Muhammad. Muhammad was given it by Jibreel. Jibreel sent it a trust from Allah that he who believes in God and Muhammad is saved if you accept the conditions of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters watching, respected scholars and elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If I can please begin with a loud salawat al Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. I'm Muslim and no one can deny from me that title. Muslim and no one can deny from me that title, nor can it all the worship I carry out belittle. I'm Muslim and no one can deny from me that title, nor can it all the worship I carry out belittle. This to all those who tell me what I believe, my rebuttal, and of an oath toward my beliefs, but a renewal. I believe in the Lord, and in Him there is no division. I believe in the Lord, and to Him there is no division, nor can He be multiplied, or attributes be given. He who cannot be described by the words of a poem, neither will do justice to Him, a heart in submission. And in the seal of the prophets, my soul testified, Muhammad. His words embedded as gold within my own heart abide. To each tongue that stands and tells me that this saint I have denied, I say live in your arrogance, whilst I take this saint as my pride. Because from a heart strong in purity, I've built all my moral, Muhammad. And this heart I remember with every quarrel toward morals that want to learn. He's the holy grail, the key to success behind every successful tale. The crown on my head is the peak of very eloquence. The letters of his name, Ali, welded very patience. For years men study him, and yet shrouded is his essence, whilst we live his lovers and are orphans in his absence. He who taught me speech is silver, but golden is silent. And with this speech is shaped to be wise and self-dependent. I learned to drag tragedy in chains by being patient, whilst men sleep forgotten by time. Ali stands defiant. The pearl of my heart is the mistress of every woman, a school of lessons and morals toward those who listen. She who taught that a woman's voice, though it remains hidden, can level mountains and kingdoms when it fights oppression. Fatima, she taught me, though a woman should be treated like a rose, beneath her petals lies her valor that streams in her woes. A woman's voice is embedded in all, even her foes, just like a woman's name from her husband's heart never goes. Full of beauty is the master of the youth of paradise. Even Muhammad's heart, this Hassan's beauty would entice. Beauty in his hunger, when morsels of food would suffice, so that the poor would be given all that he'd sacrifice. From him I learned to even, at the face of despair, smile. To comfort your enemy when he throws on you a trial. To let a clean and loving heart meet with one that is vile, and to forgive one its sins when it walks down death's aisle. With the master of martyrs, my very heartbeat aligned, Hussein, and every path possible toward me, toward him I signed. A heart that is not understood by the greatest of minds, an undying flame that cannot be explained nor be defined. He who with his blood upon dust taught every uprising. The voice of the oppressed does not die with the sun rising, neither does truth falter when for its soul you are fighting, fighting with your words or with the pen with which you are writing. Ali Sajjad, the spiritual upliftment of my prayer. Ali Sajjad, the spiritual upliftment of my prayer, molded my mind's perception of my Lord, made it aware, he who shivered in his prostration before he would share the deepest fears of his heart's beyond with his Creator. From this surviving son, the prince of all those who prostrate, I learnt that prayer is the factor to every final fate. Words that shape our moral, let alone opens heaven's gate. Prayers that in beings both humility and love create. Take my hand now and let me show you the splitter of knowledge. Take my hand and let me show you the splitter of knowledge, the fifth of a line of princes. Yet where is his coverage? Ignored is Baqir. Ignored is Baqir, whilst to the unaware his leverage toward our wounds of ignorance, O Shia, he's a bandage. From him I learnt that knowledge in each soul is a prime factor. From him I learnt that knowledge in each soul is a prime factor because it differs between the prestigious and other numbers, whilst our people are divided into camps and scholars. Whilst our people are divided into camps and scholars, to every secluded camp, I tell them Baqir is my scholar. To the truthful the Lord guided this once ungrateful fool. So I kissed the tears of the hand that built this very school. Imam Sadiq, the truthful, each word he spoke was a tool to craft a university with God's word as its rule. And I was blessed to study in this school, a minor student. To be called a Shia makes life worth each precious moment. And what a school that crowns kings, those who are obedient. He who served this household unlike any other servant. And then my eye turns toward the companion of a jail. Then my eye turns toward the companion of a jail, he who held on to hope, even when it held to no avail, even when patience was not a word, and weaved in braille, Kadham rewrote the word patience in intimate detail. And from him I learnt that when despite being imprisoned, the ability to worship one is still conditioned, and when life as a jail the believer has envisioned, his heart and soul daily for worship has petitioned. I walk across deserts to find the strangest of strangers. I walk across deserts to find the strangest of strangers, devoid of his family and living amongst dangers. A stranger in a strange land, our Imam Rava wonders whilst taunts this king, silent whispers of 1,000 murders. Yet from the syllables of his name I learnt to be pleased, even when every blessing toward me my Lord has seized, even when for whatever reasons I am mocked and teased, even when between my hands my own heart sits torn and diseased. From the youth that is Jawad, the overly generous, he taught me to give away what to you is most precious. Despite that against him were crimes oppressive, atrocious, he smiled in the face of tragedy, thankful and gracious. And as I stand on the final edge of the age of my youth, he taught me each day I age must bring me closer to the truth, whether it's the Adam of my apple or the wisdom in my tooth. I have no excuse not to know God with every inch of growth. I paint to you now the defining moment of oppression. I paint to you now the defining moment of oppression when Hadi's shrine around him in twisted wreck is ridden. I paint to you now the defining moment of oppression, when Hadi's shrine around him in a twisted wreck is ridden. They proved that their aim is not to guard their view of religion. They proved that their aim is not to guard their view of religion, but to burn the love and memory of Fatima's children. But it does not matter, as his name means the one who guides, and his lovers still flock to him like the sea's very tides. It's beyond the title Shia. It's beyond the title Shia. It's beyond taking sides. It's that never extinguishing love that in us abides. And that's why our beloved Imam Askari they killed. That's why our beloved Imam Askari they killed, because it burns them that within his Shia he's instilled, to the extent that we would obey whatever he'd willed. It eased them that with his murder, with grief the hearts are filled. It eased them that our children, the hearts of our eyes we name. If it's a girl, Fatima. If it's a boy, Hassan or Hussein. It eased them that our children, the hearts of our eyes we name. If it's a girl, Fatima. If it's a boy, Hassan and Hussein. That we let the love of Ali throw through their very veins. That we teach them Zainab's patience before we teach them the sky rains. Our prayer since Zainab with Hussein's severed head confided. Our prayer since Zainab with Hussein's severed head confided, since Abbas to not quench his thirst, before Hussein decided, since a three-pronged arrow in the baby's neck abided, O Lord, return to us, Mahdi the guided. O Lord, return to us, Mahdi the guided. He who'd instill in this world justice and prosperity and remove all memory of any calamity. Heed the cries of the oppressed when their cries were once profanity. Give the mind intellect when it knew but insanity. And when from the smoke of death and cries you see him rising, know that justice embodied has begun his uprising. His mission from morality he'd be exercising, of stability to an unstable world comprising. This is the household that from strings of heaven have been thread. This is the household that from strings of heaven have been thread. When the first is Muhammad and the last is Muhammad, hearts captured by their trance as their teachings continue to spread. As this household of gold over the world becomes widespread. As this household of gold over the world becomes widespread. I'm Shi'i. I'm Shi'i, and no one can tell me what I should have believed. I'm Shi'i, and no one can tell me what I should have believed, because they don't know about the names that in my heart are weaved. How can it be that by the love of this house one is deceived, when my heart beats their obedience with every breath I've breathed? When my heart beats their obedience with every breath I've breathed. Salli ala Muhammadin wa Muhammad. Second surah, please, with the loudest voices. The Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, Dhikra Aliyun Ibadah. So I'd just like to leave you with a poem on Amir al-Mu'mineen, but first I want the loudest of salawat for the love of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Our belief through all our hardships and trials, love for Ali bends the heaviest of scales. Judgment Day, when against sin all fails, the scale of bad deeds Ali's love cripples. When in the sea of sin our good deeds are ripples, through it Ali, the ship of salvation, sails. Our salvation is our pride in Ali. Drowning in sin, hope is within Ali. Love for Ali saves the Shi'i from sorrow, when he drowns in his sin, being judged tomorrow. Love for Ali saves the Shi'i from sorrow, when he drowns in sin, being judged tomorrow. He sees three letters that in his eyes glow, and if he forgets, then reminds him his shadow. He tells his tongue, this same Ali, don't you know? If it doesn't say it, this tongue he'd swallow. Fused with his blood is his beloved Ali, and his eyes flood because he's loved Ali. I'm tied to him like the sea's tied to the tide. When I burn in sin, in his love I confide. The day when my sins brush my good deeds aside, love for Ali comes and stands beside my side. When on judgment day all come forth with their guide, I'll come with he who heaven and hell divides. When my deeds fall, intercede shall Ali, heaven and hell, he picks them all. Ali, who came and said that Ali can't intercede? Who came and said that Ali can't intercede? Even Muhammad called his name when in need. Even if he can't, to heaven will proceed, because love for Ali is the greatest deed. And if we are wrong, and Ali was fourth indeed, we'll go to hell because there Ali would lead. On judgment day, to him souls sway. Ali, it makes hairs grey, taking away. Ali, a hope that stays with us till we all grow old. A hope that stays with us till we all grow old, that with the love of Ali we'll leave the world. Love for Ali holds blessings that are untold, in the heavens worth more than the greatest gold. When the shroud upon our bodies the angels fold, leave, for Ali wants to shroud him, they'll be told. When we're buried, the greatest deed, Ali, and when we die, we'll be met by Ali. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Before I hand the podium over to our dear brother Ali Najaf, I just want to tell you about Ali ibn Abi Talib in 1 minute. This poem will take 60 seconds of your time, but hopefully it will give you a glimpse of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. In understanding him there is still confusion. Minds cannot encompass him. Can vision? Ali is more than Badr's victor. Ali is more than Badr's victor. He's thirst for those who love to ponder. He's the mirror of his own mirror, the opener of doors. Since Khaybar I knew him, since my eyes first peek. I spoke him since I knew how to speak. Tears are embarrassed to flow down his cheek. He is eloquence, not just its peak. He is eloquence, not just its peak. His virtues leave life's lessons breathless. 63 years knew he was ageless. Death understood that Ali is endless, immortal. He isn't worth less, immortal. He isn't worth less. And in understanding him there is still confusion. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad.